All right, pre-calculus, welcome to your notes video for Monday, January 26, 2026. What we're doing here is we're looking at the exam review, which I gave you the other day. Gave you on Thursday, and we're looking at the back part, the very last page where it says like know how to graph these. We're gonna look at, I believe, 5 of them. This is gonna give us good practice. There exists a chance still we'll take that Trig graphing quiz on Thursday. Okay. So we're going to graph each function over a 1-period interval. So again, on your quiz and on part 2 of the exam, I'm going to give you the function, then I'm going to give you this table. It won't be filled out though. So it always starts with x, followed by the angle, followed by the trig function of the angle. So cosine of x plus pi over 4, and then y equals the whole thing. Okay, for sine and cosine, you're always going to have, first off, these 5 cardinal angles, 0, pi over 2 pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. You just got to look. If it's cosine of 0, it's 1. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0. Cosine of pi is negative 1. Cosine of 3 pi over 2 is 0. And cosine of 2 pi is 1. Okay? Then you take these numbers and you multiply them by negative 2 and then add 2. Multiply by negative 2 and add 2. Multiply by negative 2 and add 2, and so on. Those are your 5 y values, okay? That part should be pretty easy. It's been that way for many students in the past. I believe you guys can memorize that. Then you're going to take x plus pi over 4, and you're going to set it equal to 0, and then pi over 2, and then you're going to catch the pattern. All right, so I'm going to say x plus pi over 4 is equal to 0. I get negative pi 4. See, that's the phase shift. This is my graph, instead of starting at 0, 1 normally, without, doing all that to it, it's going to start a little to the left. Then I'm going to set x plus pi equal to pi over 2. And I get I get pi fourths. So I went from negative 1/4 to positive 1/4. I was adding 2 quarters. 3 quarters, 5 quarters, 7 quarters. Folks, 2 pi divided by 1 is 2 pi. So my period is going to be 2 pi. And 7 pi fourths minus a negative pi fourths is 8 pi fourths, which is 2 pi. All right, so I'm going to graph this. Negative pi fourths, 0. Pi fourths, 2. 3 pi fourths, 4. 5 pi fourths, 2. 7 pi fourths, 0. You just got to know when you're graphing cosine, it hits this point, then bounces off. It hits this point, then bounces. It goes then up. It goes then up. All right. If you did something like this, I'd have to mark off a little bit. All right. All right. Let's keep doing a little graphing. Then you will have a little assignment here to conclude, which should be really easy points. And okay, y equals, this is number 37, y equals sine of x minus pi thirds minus 1. X, the angle, sine of the angle, then the whole thing, y equals the whole thing. Again, for cosine and sine, my cardinal angles are 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi. Sine of 0 is 0, sine of pi over 2 is 1, sine of pi is 0, sine of 3 pi over 2 is a negative 1, sine of 2 pi is 0. I'm going to take all these numbers. I'm just going to subtract 1. Subtract 1 from all of those angles. All right. Then I'm going to set x minus pi thirds equal to 0. X minus pi thirds equal to pi over 2. We'll see if I can get a pattern. I get pi thirds. That's my phase shift. And then on this one, I get 5 pi sixths. All right. So pi thirds is 2 pi sixths. I'm going from 2 pi sixths to 5 pi sixths. So I'm adding 3 pi sixths each time. So that's 8 pi sixths, 11 pi sixths, 14 pi sixths. And I've just reduced those. All right, I'm going up by the same value each time. All right, so then it's time to graph. I have everything's positives first. Everything's positive. So I put pi thirds, and I'm going 5 here. And then there's negative 1 and negative 2. So pi 10-7 game, huh? All right. Pi thirds, -1, 5, pi 6, 0. 4 pi thirds, -1, 4 pi, or 11 pi 6, -2. 7 pi thirds, -1. Now sine, the arrows go in the opposite direction. That one goes down, that one goes up. The only error you can make is like to send it down forever, because remember, this is the lowest it can be, so it can't go lower than that. Just draw a little arrow and don't send it too far south. Same thing here. If you were to like go straight up with that, I have to take off because that's the highest it can be. All right, so just a little tiny arrow, just a tiny arrow there. Okay, here we go. We're going to do a few more. Let's talk about another cosine one. All right, another cosine one. Y equals 3. Cosine 2x minus pi over 2 plus 1. I have x, my angle, cosine of my angle, and then the whole thing. All right, 0 pi over 2 pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi. Cosine of 0 is 1. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0. Cosine of pi is -1. Cosine 3 pi over 2 is 0. Cosine of 2 pi is 1. With cosine and sine, these will always be the same. All right. Obviously, these numbers for cosine, sine had other values. Also involving -1, 0, and 1. I'm going to take all these numbers in this column, multiply them by 3, then add 1. Okay. Then, got a phase shift going. My period's only going to be pi, 2 pi divided by pi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set 2x minus pi over 2, my angle, equal to these cardinal angles. I'm going to set it equal to 0. And I'm going to set it equal to pi over 2. So if I set this equal to 0, pi over 2 divided by 2 is pi fourths. Then I'm going to add pi over 2. I'm going to get 2x is equal to pi, and then x is pi over 2. I went from 1/4 to 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4. And that period is pi. If you take 5 quarters, subtract 1/4, you get 4/4. All right. Pi over 4, then 1. Again, all of my angles here in this one period, all my x values, I'm sorry, they're all positive. They're all positive. All my x values. So pi fourths, 4. Pi over 2, 1. 3 pi over 2, -2. Pi 1, 5 pi over 4, 4. Again, it's cosines. Cosines, these are the maximum values. So it hits that point and goes down. Hits this point and goes down. Again, if you went just like that, I'd have to cross off. Hits that point and then goes south. All right. Here we are, folks. 41. Y equals -2 sine of my angle plus 2. All right. So I got x, my angle, sine of my angle, the whole thing. All right, my cardinal angle is 0 pi over 2 pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi. Sine is 0, sine of pi over 2, sine of pi, sine of 3 pi over 2, sine of 2 pi. All right, I'm going to take all these angles, multiply by -2, and add 2. Boom. Multiply by -2 and add 2. Multiply by -2 and add 2. Those are my 5 y values. All right, to figure out the x values that I'm graphing, I'm going to set my angle 3x plus pi equal to 0. 3x plus pi equal to pi over 2. 3x plus pi equal to pi. That gives me 3x is 0. That gives me 0. I can fill that in. But let's start here. 3x plus pi is equal to 0. 3x is a negative pi. X is a negative pi thirds. 3x plus pi is equal to pi halves. I'm going to subtract. 1 pi from pi over 2. It's going to be a negative pi over 2. I'm going to divide by 3, negative pi sixth. So I have -2 pi over 6, -1 pi over 6, 0 pi over 6, 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, and I just reduce. All right, 2 pi over 6, 1 pi over 6. All right, my period would be 2 pi divided by 3, and 1/3 minus a -1/3 is 2/3. All right, I have 2 on the negative side, and 1 here at 0 something, and then 2 on the positive side. All right, so negative pi thirds 2, negative pi 6 0, 0 2, pi 6 4, and pi thirds 2. Again, this is going to go up in that way. This is going to go south. Just look, like, what is it? Okay, it ends here. What's next? Well, we started by going down, so that's what's going to do. All right. Great. And then before we end this, we'll talk more about this. Be the first thing we do Tuesday is the other graphs. Make sure we prep fully for the quiz. There's no reason we can't take this quiz on Thursday. All right, then I have y equals 3 tangents of x plus pi minus 1. All right, so I have x, my angle, tangent of my angle, y equals the whole thing. Now tangent is different. We're going to use negative pi over 2. We're going to use those angles in. So on the y-axis, both south and north in the fourth and first quadrant. Negative pi over 2, negative pi over 4, 0, pi over 4, and pi over 2. Tangent of negative pi over 2, it's negative 1 over 0. It's undefined. So it doesn't matter what I do, it's still undefined. That's a vertical asymptote. That's kind of like my left bound. Tangent of negative pi fourths. It's negative root 2 over 2 divided by positive root 2 over 2. It's negative 1. All right, tangent of 0, it's 0 divided by 1, which is 0. Tangent of pi fourths, cosine and sine are the same, root 2 over 2, so it's 1. And then tangent of pi over 2, remember it's sine over cosine, so it's 1 over 0, which is undefined. So I'm going to take these three numbers, multiply them by 3, and subtract 1. All right. Then I'm going to take x plus pi, set it equal to negative pi over 2. X plus pi, set it equal to negative pi fourths. Subtract pi from both of those. I get a negative 6 over 4, negative 5 over 4, negative 4 over 4, negative 3 over 4, negative 2 over 4. Just simplify that. All right, so tangent normally has a period of pi, unless I do something to it. All right, so they're all negative, those x values. So negative 3 pi over 2, dotted line straight up. Negative pi over 2, dotted line straight up. Then I'm going to plot negative pi, 5 pi over 4, negative 4. Negative pi, negative 1, negative, I'm sorry, this is negative 3 pi. Whoa. Where are we at? I'm sorry, brain fart there. Negative 3 pi fourths. Negative 1. Sorry, negative pi, negative 1. This will be edited out. Negative 3 pi over 4, it's 2. Negative pi over 2, undefined. Remember, it like goes something like that. We don't have the root 3 over 3 and the root 3 in there, plus or minus, before we do something to it. So my tangent graphs will always look a little rough. All right. Let's see here. How is this coming in? Because you do have a little notes assignments, and I think I want to maybe talk about these when I see you again. All right, and then I don't know, hopefully we're together on Tuesday. So we're going to pause on that. Great. Have that. Here we have an e-learning notes assignment. All right, so you're going to write for, all right, come on. The lighting's changing here. It's getting darker outside. Hopefully it's just one day. You're going to put 126 here at the top. Two questions, right? 2 questions, 5 points. So you need to write down all the instructions, everything I got here. All right. We want to do a better job on this. This is on our first quiz. We want to do better on the exam. A point on your quick check, maybe your quick check's over 5.3. A point on the terminal side of an angle theta is given. Find the exact value of the 6 trig functions. So here's the point, negative 15, 5, x, y, negative x, positive y. We're in the second quadrant. Negative 15, 8. So that's the point, right? And then here is theta. All right, so this is an 8, 15, 17 triangle. You really need to have that memorized. If not, you got to do 8 squared plus a negative 15 squared is equal to h squared. But as pre-calculus students, there's really no reason we can't remember an 8, 15, 17 triangle. This is a Pythagorean triple from geometry. This is a Pythagorean triple. All right, so sine of this angle is opposite over hypotenuse, 8 over 17. So cosecant is the reciprocal of sine at 17 over 8. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, negative 15 over 17. So secant of negative 17 over 15. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, the opposite side over the adjacent side. Negative 8 over 15. Cotangent is a negative 15 over 8. So negative 15 over 8. All right, we won't do well on these, especially if it's a first quadrant one. They're not all going to be Pythagorean triples. First quadrant here, positive 1, x, positive y. We're going to go over 1, up 3. Pythagorean theorem is going to give me root 10. Root 10 as, I use r because it's kind of, you can think of it as a radius if we made a circle around it. If we, again, we'll talk about the unit circle, that 1, radius 1. All right, so sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So cosecant, root 10 over 3. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So secant is just root 10 over 1. Then tangent is opposite over adjacent. Cotangent is 1/3. All right, so when I see you on Tuesday, you're going to turn this in right away. We are going to finish that ACT. We'll also kind of reviewing for the quiz that we'll have on Thursday. Then we'll start reviewing for the exam the week after while doing some ACT prep. All right, this is Yak Math Videos signing out.